The civil society organizations held a national consultative dialogue on reconstructing the rural economy under the theme Unveiling Agro-Business Opportunity for Rural Women in Agriculture. They are concerned that rural women are not only mothers of this nation, but are also the custodians of crop production. But unfortunately, these have been neglected in poverty without agribusiness opportunities.
We need to understand what were the factors behind production and what are the factors behind production in the rural areas if we are to reconstruct the rural economy. And I think we are calling on government to take it as priority area number one. Can we get the rural markets function? Can we see the production and productivity improving in the rural areas?
Women have access to land, but many times they do not control what they produce from the land because they are not part of marketing. And so one critical issue that has been coming through in the consultations that we had was the need for women to have not only access but also control and ownership of land. So that is one issue that we are flagging. The other issue that came through is the whole issue of value addition.
The activists call on government to revamp cooperatives and partners to rethink and reorganize their programs to ensure that they invest in the rural area to allow the communities to benefit from inputs and transact businesses.
Calling upon everyone, can we rethink our actions, rethink our thinking, rethink our operations, rethink our programming, and see that we invest more in the rural areas to allow people transact businesses on their own.
One of the demands is the need to revamp cooperatives. And this is cooperatives and not circles. So how do we work with the women to hold the government accountable to ensure that cooperatives come into being, but also go a step further to ensure that women actually participate in and benefit from the cooperatives.
But how can the reconstruction of the rural economy be achieved? Priority number one should be put on women who are 90% engaged in agriculture production.
How do you make agriculture relevant to them? The only way I can see is by using agriculture as a business, not to look at agriculture as a social sector or as a development activity, but look at it seriously as a business.
We need to ensure that, for example, inputs are subsidized so that women can also go from small scale to large scale production, and this goes with appropriate technologies and so on. The issues that we have put within the manifesto are issues that are critical for the women, and we want to use this as a tool for the political players that are out in the field to know that these are critical issues.
The civil society is, however, concerned that the mindset is still the major challenge affecting the rural community, especially women, which has tied them up in poverty.
I think we still have a lot of work to do, not only with the women, but even with the men, in terms of changing their mindsets and getting them to be critical players, to understand the importance of the role that they can play in ensuring accountability and good governance. And I'm talking about accountability and good governance because this is a political period. The issues that we are putting out in the Women's Manifesto are about our lives as citizens of this country, and our leaders are responsible once we vote them into power.
The mindset of our leaders who are always looking at agriculture as a social activity, give them seeds. So what happens when they have the seeds? Give them a cow or a goat, and then you want them not to sell the cow. But if the mindset is business-oriented, it becomes much easier.
The civil society also calls for provision of extension workers to guide women in agriculture production skills to allow them benefit from their produce, but with cooperatives put in place. Cooperatives can bargain as a group for better prices and can help to look for market. Stephen Mwiri, WBS News.